The entire team at Emsolation want to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people. We want to recognise that we are recording and telling our stories on the stolen land of our country's first storytellers. We wish to pay our respects to all Wurundjeri elders and ancestors, and to extend that respect to any First Nations peoples who listen to Emsolation. We recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples' continued connection to the land and waters of this country, and acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. Always was, always will be.
This is Emsolation.
Hello lovelies, producer Ben here to give you the fancy intro Em promised to her guest this week, the brilliant comedian, writer and recovering lawyer that is Sashi Perera. Sashi's debut solo show Endings was nominated for Best Newcomer at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival in 2023. She's also the only Australian comedian featured as one to watch at the UK 2021 Funny Women Awards and a two-time Raw Comedy finalist. Sashi is a well-travelled improviser, writer and yarn spinner who was born in Colombo, raised in Dubai, Muscat and Perth before working around the world as a refugee lawyer. Her Melbourne Comedy Festival show, Sashi Perera and Friends, sold out. So, your best way to get more Sashi is to see her performing in Colombo in Sri Lanka on Friday, April 25th, or alternatively, via this episode of Sashi in Conversation with Em Rusciano. Enjoy.
Clacker.
Clacker! Do you see?
Yes.
Do you see what Sashi called it?
Yeah.
A clacker.
What do you call it? What do you call it?
It's called a clapper.
Oh.
And I've called it a clacker my entire life.
I've called it a clacker my entire life. Because it also looks like a duck. And they
It looks, oh, see, I think it looks like a pair of legs. And this would be the vagina area. Clap. Clacker. The
Look,
clacker area.
It's better. Our word's better.
Our word's better.
Our word's better. Rename it. Get it out of here.
Because Michael Lucas, who's normally in your chair, my co-host, he works in television, and he heard me say it one day, and he's like, what did you say? Clacker. Claggy clackers. My mum used to say. Oh, God. That realisation just hit me. I'm going to do a whole fancy intro, so we'll just do a big clap for Sashi Perera. Sashi, I need to publicly apologise. I was an hour and 15 minutes late to our chat because I thought it was at 11 and then no, it was at 10 a.m. I'm like, okay, and then I wasn't even here at the time I thought it was. And I'm really sorry.
I totally and wholly accept your apology. And thank you, actually, because every second of my time has been accounted for since I landed back in Australia. And to have an hour to just go walk along the creek, see all the ducks. I think they were having an AGM. There were a lot of them.
I love it when the ducks have an AGM.
There's so many.
They get
sorting
together.
out all their little duck problems.
They often have the AGM on the side of the road. Have you noticed this?
Real weird.
Ducks
Yep.
are fucking kamikazes.
Yeah.
They have no, and like the mums are just like, come on kids, YOLO. They never look back to check the ducklings are on their way.
Nah.
I live in an area where we are known to have to, you'll see cars lined up waiting for ducks to
for
cross the
ducks?
road. Yeah.
Throw your weight around. That's
Yeah.
what I say.
You kill a kangaroo, 5 times a day in my area, but the ducks, how dare you, ma'am?
Yeah.
You will stop for the ducks, not
Yeah.
the kangaroos.
Well, they do all walk in a line, which is very orderly, very different to the kangaroos. They
Yeah.
just hop around.
They
Everywhere.
Those motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's just
It's like The Walking Dead
zigzagging.
near me. Like I'm like this. If you're driving at dawn or dusk, it's not good.
At least ducks trying to make it easy for you. They're like, we were all in a line.
And they're so cute.
They're so cute.
They're so cute. Good, strong start
So
for
yeah,
us.
anyway,
yes.
totes fine.
So sorry.
Thank you for the hour of time. I went for a nice little walk. And also, if I'd been pissed off, I would have been like, whatever, see you later. So I didn't do that.
Just would like to believe that about you. But I'm getting real eldest daughter people pleaser vibes from you.
It's true. It's
Okay.
true. Nah.
Okay, great.
I would have stayed here till I died.
And then just pretty much. I'm really mad, but I'm not leaving in case
can't
the
leave.
person I'm mad at thinks badly of me.
I can't leave.
My whole life is worried about people I don't even like thinking badly about me. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry. Once you hit my age, that drops. That's been the greatest
It's
thing about 46.
Slowly dropping. I'm 38 and it is slowly dropping
Oh,
where I can I don't say no, but I can say no.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Good
So I
girl.
think it'll only improve.
You will get to Fuck no.
Yeah.
A Ponce to 45.
Yeah.
I promise. Now, you are here for Comedy Festival, but you sold out.
I am sold out, which is so lovely.
It's fucking amazing.
It's really lovely. It does feel a bit dumb, you know, like you're supposed to do festival properly. Like you're supposed to like be in a room and then once you fill it, you're supposed to like add extra shows and stuff. But I've been on tour and I was like, I want a small, manageable, lovely time there where it's not extra shows and like bigger rooms and stuff. And so it's felt really small and lovely and manageable.
I mean,
Which should be fine.
fucking impressive.
Thank you.
No, it's like you own that. You say, I sold out my entire comedy festival run.
I did.
Yeah, say
I
it.
did.
Say it. Tell the camera. Say it.
I did. I sold it out and it was cool.
Yes!
And I get to just say that.
I'm saying this.
But yeah, I don't know.
Not on. My sound effects board is not on.
Oh.
Good for her.
Was it a clap? Was it a clap?
No, it was good for her. Lucille Bluth from
cute.
Arrested Development.
Oh, love her.
Saying good for her.
Want
Yeah.
to be her.
She's my old age icon. I'm off mic. So I think for me, I'm going to think about the first time I came across you, I was defending you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'd started seeing your clips online and then I was like, oh, she's Australian. Amazing. Because I assumed you were from London.
Yeah, I have a very confusing accent that I feel the need to apologise for.
No,
but
don't.
Then I apologise for everything all the time.
Yeah,
so
same.
I don't know. I have a really weird accent because English is my second language, but I learned it really young. I learned it in a British school run by nuns in
That
Dubai.
makes sense.
So it was all very
wait.
confusing. Yeah,
Sorry, that's
see?
a sentence.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You learned English. Say it again.
So I learned English in a British school run by nuns in Dubai. So everyone's accent was all over the place. There was no one way
Like
to
Nicole
speak.
Kidman.
It was nuts.
Transatlantic.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a nice comparator. Yes, to the very tall, very attractive, very successful and famous Nicole Kidman. Exactly like that.
Same. I often think to myself, is that Sashi or Nicole? I say it all the time. God, I don't even know. No, okay, that makes sense. But I saw you did, I know that you made a conscious decision to, I will have said this in your very fancy intro, but you were a human rights lawyer. You were helping refugees find out if they, you can probably tell better than I can because of your job, if they did, get exemption.
Could stay or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is grim and brutal
It was grim and
to
brutal.
decide people's futures. And you were in your 20s.
Yes.
It's a lot.
It was a lot.
Still deciding your future.
Didn't like it. Didn't like it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have this kind of authority. Don't like it.
But you work for the UN.
I did.
You weren't doing it for like Bob's Backyard Lawyers.
I wasn't. That would be weird if you could decide those kinds of things in Bob's backyard.
It's true.
Yeah.
Lots of bad stuff goes down in Bob's backyard.
I think that's why it was a weird switch because I started in Perth when you were on 92.9.
Yes, we were
figured
both
this
in
out.
Perth. We did.
Figured this out. And then I was working as an immigration lawyer specialising in refugee law there. So kind of advocating for clients and doing their decision, like
Is this during
working
the
on their
Abbott Stop
cases.
the Boats era?
No, this was who was in power?
I feel like Rudd was in for a while.
I actually was very lucky. I started with Labour 07. Like that's when I finished law school. Kevin 07, Labour 07, Labour 07.
Kevin 07.
Yep. I was very lucky because I started in that time when there was a lot of hope, you know, like the offshore detention centres were closing. That was the whole thing. And there was a lot of excitement that things would change. And so I started then. I graduated in 09 and was working for like 3 years in WA. That was exciting. And then I started working for the UN and my role just kind of completely switched where I went from advocating for clients for getting them to stay in the country to actually making the decision of whether or not they were a refugee and taking on asylum applications and stuff. That was difficult.
I mean, how you
for
sleep?
UNHCR.
You're not sleeping.
I started not sleeping.
Nah.
This is what I've been writing about, and I started not sleeping because I didn't really like it. But I was like, but this is the thing that I'm doing. I'm working for the UN. This is what I wanted. But I was away from my family and my friends and my fiance at the time, and it was all like late 20s, and you don't get to complain about it because, you know, as if you've even had a hard life compared to the cases that you're working on. So it was all just quite a confusing little time. Yeah.
Were you dabbling with comedy at all while you were lawyering?
Nothing.
Not a lot of great material in deciding if someone.
Nothing.
Not a lot of gags.
No, not a lot of gags. You can't gag about. I still don't gag about that.
No, you can't.
You can't, and I never will. But I can gag about the systems.
100%.
I can gag about the systems. I can gag about the countries that I worked in. I can gag about myself a lot.
That's probably safest, I find.
That's the safest.
Yeah, that's what I do a lot of.
Yeah, but I was watching a lot of comedy when I couldn't sleep.
What were you
know?
watching? Oh, I love this. That's what was keeping you company.
Man. Yeah, because I was working first in, the first time I worked for the UN was in Turkey. So I was later and later I was really struggling to sleep, and you never link it to mental health. I wasn't checked into it at the time. And I was just like, I just can't sleep. I guess I just don't sleep now. That's fine.
I'm fine.
That seems fine.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
normal.
jet lag.
Totally. It's really busy.
6 months in. How long does that?
My circadian rhythms are fucked. What's going on?
How long does that stuff stick around for?
Yeah.
No one's tested it before.
I blame low iron. That's what I blame everything on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably anemic.
Yeah. I didn't even know to check all this stuff back in the day, you know. But no, I was watching a lot of New Girl.
Oh,
Love New Girl. I know that a lot of stuff has been said about Friends, but that is my go-to. I will watch those guys be idiots until I die. I think, even though they're like, Friends is actually really problematic. I'm like, everything's problematic.
It actually
if you
is.
Look at it, you can't. It's just let me have this one.
Yeah,
let me have
Seinfeld.
Friends. I'm keeping Friends.
So Seinfeld was my everyday comfort. That's kind of how I learnt comedy, was watching Elaine.
Yeah.
Dennis. Yeah, watching her. Thinking,
I feel like all of the comedy kids in Melbourne grew up on Seinfeld, and then that makes me feel really bad because I thought everyone on it was really unattractive. And I couldn't deal with it.
I get it.
I couldn't do
Friends
it.
appeal over Seinfeld.
I was like, but Friends is so pretty. Friends is so pretty. You see, Rachel's hair is so shiny.
It was.
Real shiny.
So that you were watching that. So when did you start? When did you think, I'm going to try comedy?
Everything melted down for me. I was supposed to get married and then I didn't. And then I tried. I was like, that's okay. I am an independent woman. I will keep doing contracts with the UN and working around the world. And then I was like, I need to change. Came to Melbourne to do my master's in law. And I was only supposed to be here for a year and then go back overseas. But then fell ass backwards into comedy.
How? I don't understand.
I don't know. Have you ever been, I'm sure you have been in a phase of your life where you just try everything. You know, I was living in a 7-person share house in Brunswick East. Loving
My entire
it.
career is me trying something.
Exactly. So I started going to music festivals and meeting people all around Melbourne who are doing all of these different things. And anytime someone told me to do anything, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that sounds fun. So it was like, do you want to go to a ska punk gig at 2 a.m? And I'd be like, hell yeah.
Oh, so you're ADHD.
Yeah, very much. My brother has been diagnosed and Dad definitely should have been diagnosed.
And you are.
I started down the path. So I feel bad saying that I do have it. Do you know what I mean? Because
self-diagnosing is very valid.
Oh, totally.
So fine. You're fine. As the person who invented ADHD
friends.
in this country,
Great.
I'm bestowing upon you the right
Thank
to
you so
refer
much.
to yourself
I
as.
appreciate
Have
it.
I outed you? Are you okay with me saying that? We can edit it
No,
out. Are you all right?
I'm really, because
Everything you're saying is very
you know, a lot of people are just they went through the thing and I started doing the thing and then I was just like, I'm just going to learn to try to manage, because I saw my brother and we were doing IVF at the time, so I couldn't go on the meds.
Yeah.
And they didn't recommend the meds because they never test stuff on pregnant women.
On women, full stop.
Or women, you know, why?
Because we're tiny men. Why
we're
bother?
Basically like men
Exactly the
with
same.
boobs.
No
So
difference.
why? So they were just like, we don't recommend that. So I had to learn to regulate it without that. And I realized my whole life is lists, and I didn't realize everyone else doesn't do lists. And anyway, I was trying everything. So then someone was like, you're really funny, you should do raw comedy. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll set up for raw comedy.
It sounds like what happened to me.
Just practice into a hairbrush the day of my heat.
I'd never told a joke in my life when I
Rocked out.
registered a show at the comedy festival.
Yeah. And then honestly,
How did raw go?
backwards, I got to the state final.
Yeah, you did. I know this
and
already looks.
Then and then I didn't get to the national final. So obviously it's 100% or nothing.
100% failure.
And I was like, oh my God, I guess I'll go
I
die
suck at
now.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great. Another thing I totally suck at. But luckily I was doing counseling at the time and I'd started therapy. That was cool. That was another thing people told me to try.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God for
It was
people.
like, oh, Sashi, maybe you should try counseling. I was like, okay. And I did, and it was great. And they were like, my counselor was like, well, if you liked it, maybe you should just keep trying, even if
What?
You
Even
know?
though I didn't perfectly do it the
Even
first
though
time.
I didn't get 100% and I
Sorry,
didn't
what?
go all the way and win.
I'm not the best first time, so
I'm
I should
sorry.
go back.
I don't think you understand being Sri Lankan.
May I see
Get
your
out of
credentials, sir?
my face.
I became a lawyer out of fear because I didn't want to be a doctor. So what? There's a softer option? No.
No, never. But then I think I was telling you earlier, I was just felt like I was just very lucky because there were so many women and so many women of color around the time that I started. And, you know, someone saw me somewhere, booked me somewhere else, and everything just kept going. I never thought it would get to the stage where I'm at now.
I love
Never, ever.
this so much.
Yeah.
I love this story because so many women feel like, oh, it's too late in your mid-30s to start again.
Yeah.
Or it's, you know, I'm on this career path. This is my life. This is
Yeah.
what everyone expects of me.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden all these women are turning 40 and having nervous breakdowns because they feel like they're not in the right play. Like the play of their life has changed and the character they're playing is not who they're meant to be.
Yeah.
So people like you and Lizzie Who and
Love
me, I guess,
Lizzie.
being mature age comics.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what I refer to us as. I love these stories and I knew this about you and I wanted you to tell it because it's just about kind of believing 1% more that you can, you know, just like it was like, oh, how are you confident? I'm like, confidence is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like it's a fucking, for me it was like, yeah, I think I believe a bit more that it'll be okay than I think that it won't.
Yeah.
So I'll just do it.
I think like, did you have this where it just felt good.
Good.
It felt so
100%.
good to be on stage with
Yes.
a microphone in my hand.
One-way conversations.
Even if I was performing to like 3 or 4 people at the start, I was like, I don't care. It feels so good. It feels so good to laugh.
Same.
And I think that's the feeling that I followed. And then, but you know, there's a lot of ways to be cool in comedy and
Well,
to be
you're in
cool.
the wrong place for that.
Yeah.
Sorry, babe.
To be cool, like a couple of years ago when I started sharing reels, I just decided I didn't want to be cool anymore. It was after my dad passed away and there was a lot of, I think the biggest obstacle you're ever going to face is yourself and all of your thoughts, where it's just kind of like, who cares about this? Everyone's going to think you're really lame. Everyone's going to think A, B, C, D, you know, all the way through to Z and then start the alphabet again.
Yeah.
I stopped caring.
That the moment you can stop trying to
stopped.
control people's perception of you,
Don't care.
it's such a freeing, because I spent a long time trying to control people's perceptions of me,
Yeah.
especially when I went into comedy.
Yeah.
Because I wanted the bros to like me.
Yeah.
I cared more about other comics' opinion of me than my audience.
Yeah.
And the minute I flipped that attitude is when I took off,
Yeah.
because I stopped.
Yeah.
Because I'm never going to appeal to those men specifically.
You're never going to appeal to everyone all the time.
I tried.
As people will actually actively hate you
Yeah.
for no reason at
Yeah.
all, which is fine now. I'm like, okay, there's enough people that like me that will keep coming to the shows. Even if that shrinks down to 3 people, as long as 3 people are in the audience, I'll still do it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got millions and millions of followers now, so I don't know if it's ever just going to be 3 people. You
But
do
yeah.
have millions and millions. Your videos have gone off chops.
Bonkers.
Yes.
Yeah, it has gone bonkers. But
I don't think you get enough credit in Australia for how international you've gone.
it's been pretty crazy. Like I just did a show in Singapore a couple of weeks ago, and they're all the producers there are already talking about doing a bigger one next year. Like it's just been so lovely because when you're on the phone, you don't realize how many people are following you. You only realize when you go out into the community and then you're doing shows and all these people are coming to say hi after, and you're like, oh, okay, this is freaking cool. Because it's not just, I love seeing women who are like me in the audience, but there's also a lot of people who don't look like me in the audience, which I also love because I'm like, this is comedy for people like me without isolating everyone else, you know, kind of bringing them into the experience as opposed to being like, haha, this is for us only. Yeah.
So you decided to start uploading clips of yourself. What was the first clip that just took off?
The hair tie one, like where I say on my first day as a refugee lawyer, they thought I was a refugee, not the lawyer. And then the other thing the weird stuff that happens when you're brown in a white country is like I got asked on 3 separate first dates what the significance of the cultural significance of the band around my wrist was, and I was like, oh, that's my hair tie. And that took off in a way I really couldn't have expected it to. And everyone was sharing their own stories and it was just fun. You know, like, of course, people were like, oh, okay, so we can't ask about anything now. It's like, no, you can, but it's funny. We can laugh about, please laugh about this. There's so much we can't laugh about, but we can laugh about this. That was the first one that took off. And it was wild. Like, My first
Yeah, tell me
run,
the experience of going that viral.
You don't understand because you're just sitting alone in your house.
So yeah, what's the realization? So you put it up and then you're like, what the fuck?
And this was my biggest dream at the time, right? Was I have my first solo show at the comedy festival. I'm in a 30-seater. I am doing 10 shows. I would like to fill half of that out. That was what I was aiming for.
Yep.
That is my dream. And so a couple of months before comedy festival, I had a couple of reels that I'd cut up from some shows. And I was like, I will post these and hopefully that will get some people there. And when I posted that, I went to bed and I'd posted 6 other reels in a row and, nothing had really happened there. I was like, oh, cool, might sell a ticket. And then you wake up and you're on 1 million views and you're
Shut
like,
up.
oh my God.
Overnight?
Sashi. Yeah. You just wake up and your phone is pinging and I tagged the videographer, Sal Hicks, bless her. I love her so much. And she was like, please remove my tag. I do not want to be famous. Get me off there. Get me off there. Get me off there. She was like, my phone is blowing up.
Really?
Take off my tag. She is one of the best videographers.
Amazing.
But it was just so funny. And my husband, he was like, what are we going to do?
There's no instruction manual for that moment.
There is no guide.
There?
He went out and he bought me one of those lock boxes immediately because he was just like, you can't keep looking at your phone all the time. We're just going to have time where we put it away. Thank God. Because otherwise you're just like, who loves me now? Who hates me now?
Totally.
Who's really mad?
Because there's the wave of love.
Hate.
And then then the backlash comes. Then the backlash to the backlash comes.
Yes, and it goes a full
full circle of life of going viral. And then even now, I had a clip with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo go into the millions.
Brag. Okay, yeah.
I know. What a wanker. What a wanker. But I still get we still get the random hateful comments, don't we? That still come. I'm like, dude, this was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Does that still happen? You still get because you clip once they're out there.
It's got I had this Portugal reel go viral about how I have the same last name as a lot of other people in Portugal, and here's the story of why colonization. Lol, let's laugh about it. No, okay,
no,
Portugal was not ready to laugh about it, and I was still getting pings about it 4 months later, just being like, leave our country, and I was like, I have chill, Jesus,
yeah, because I feel like. I feel like once a quarter you're in some kind of controversy that is not really your fault or intent. I watch your clips. You're not somebody out there trying to you're not like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're not Jim Jeffries. You're not out there trying to piss people off.
I'm honestly, genuinely, I am not out there trying to piss people off. I think that's what's been most surprising about it. I'm like, as a brown woman in a white country with a white husband, here are some funny things that have happened. And people are like, you only talk about color. And I'm like, no, I talk about Tutankhamun. No one gives a fuck about him. He's dead. I tried. With jokes. There are so
my cold take on Tootin was not accepted.
TTK, always my bro. No one cares. But no one cares.
By the way, Tootin brown.
So I think people don't understand because when the clips go to people who don't follow me, normally the stuff that's going viral is about colonization or is about color. And they're like, she only talks about color. And I'm like, no, there's from a 1 hour show where I talk about heaps of stuff. So the nuances are lost. But people get real mad all the time. And but I have to say the 90% of it is good and lovely. And I get the best messages and I'm having the best time.
Yeah.
The 10% I'm still learning how to deal with.
Oh.
Yeah.
We hyperfix it.
Yes.
It could be 500 comments of how good I am.
Yeah.
And 2 that say something.
Real mean.
And I will go in.
Yeah.
I'll find when that person works.
Yeah.
I'll go look at their social media profiles.
Yeah.
I obsess over it. And then everyone's like, Em, you're missing out on all the good stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm always afraid if I get too into the weeds of the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's weirdly
Your
like
head will get
I keep
big.
my edge if I focus on the haters.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so unhealthy.
It's really unhealthy. It's also there's always there are so many different ways to attack you, right? Because I got used to the racism and the misogyny or whatever. And then there'll be a comment being like, oh, I can't stop obsessing about the varicose vein on her right leg. And now I'm like, well, now I can't either.
Totally. Absolutely. Somebody commented that I don't draw my eyebrows unevenly.
Who
I was like-
does? That's so unfair.
And I was like, oh God, I've got eyebrow blindness. Like,
Yeah.
I started Googling how to get rid of eyebrow blindness because it's a thing.
Eyebrow.
Yeah, it's true. It's like you get so used to doing it one way that you can't see that it's wrong. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing. Trust me, I spent half an hour on that thing.
Yeah.
But no, it's
But for one thing for me is like, I don't want to get distracted by it. Like, I'm very
Good.
much like, this is my life. I'm talking about my experience, and that's where it's defensible. Where
Absolutely.
As long as it's about my experience, I think I can just like confidently put it out there and be like, hey, this is my experience. It's not everyone's
Yeah.
experience, and you don't have to like it.
Yeah.
But you will not drag me down. I can't
No.
remember where I read that, but it was just like, you don't have to like it. I'm sorry it's coming into your phones. I'm really sorry. I have zero power
that's
over that.
the internet.
Zero
I
power.
can't control it.
I don't know if you've heard about Zuckerberg, but like,
Wait till
get
wait
him
to
on
hear
the
about now.
phone. Yeah.
No, that's so true. It's when you represent a minority, like especially when you're a woman, you can only speak to your experience. But because, you're Sri Lankan, Australian, you're a woman of a certain age, and just that is punk.
Yeah.
Just showing up as you before you even open your mouth
Yeah.
is punk. And then
That's so nice. I don't think anyone's ever described me as
No,
punk
you're a
before.
punk.
I'm like, yeah,
you are.
punk.
You're a punk.
I'm
Like
punk.
just you getting there in front of the mic before you say a word
Yeah.
is an act of protest.
Yeah.
Right? It actually is. And then when you realize that, anything you do from there is a bonus.
Yeah.
And you can't represent every single person that identifies in the same minority group that you do.
It's not possible.
And it's the panic of letting them down. Anytime
Yeah.
I speak about disability, I'm inevitably pummeled by the disability community that I didn't get it right.
Yeah.
And I just say, look, all I can do is speak to my own experience. And I've said this ad nauseum. It's my disclaimer before everything. I will only tell my stories in the hope that somebody might see themselves in 10% of it and they may not go to sleep crying in the fetal position at 2 a.m. tonight because of me.
Yeah.
But I can't speak on behalf of all people who are like me.
And you don't.
Just 'cause you
That's
can't.
the
No.
thing.
But
At
people
no
want you
point-
to.
I think people see someone who looks like them or has been through something that they've been through, and because you have a microphone, they're like, how dare you
Waste that opportunity.
waste it,
100%.
represent it incorrectly.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm so sorry. This might be bananas, but everyone's experience is different. You
And
can't.
if
I
you
can
knew
only speak
how
of
much
mine.
effort I put in.
I know.
Like,
that's why,
you like
that's
you
why,
and I.
like,
This you like
earlier
effort,
when
the
we were
effort.
talking about the ADHD, I was just like, I can't speak forever. This is my experience. I haven't been diagnosed. There are so many disclaimers, and I'm just like getting to the point where I'm realizing like I actually can't do that.
Nah.
And I don't know if you've met Anissa Nandala yet, but she came and stayed with me for a week, and we did like a couple of episodes of a podcast, which neither of us have now followed up on, but it was out there for a very short period of time. But just being with her made me braver because she was just like, just say it. And I'd be like, oh my God, Anissa, you can't say that. She's like, you're never going to appeal to everyone.
Love it.
Because she's Ugandan Australian. And
Yeah.
and that's that thing where it's just like her just being on screen
Punk.
pisses people off.
Yeah.
And she's like, I officially don't care.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
so
a really
she's
good place.
making me braver where I'm just like, just say it and then I'll just go hide now.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you're
put the
writing
phone
a
in
book.
lockbox.
You're writing a
I
book.
am writing a book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Standing still. Standstill.
Stay still.
Stay still?
What is it?
What's the
Stand still.
Stand still.
I should know that.
I was gonna
I
say.
will learn it before it comes out.
Please do.
Yes. Yeah. No, we did like a word cloud of like what it should be. Anyway, so that Standstill. It is really exciting. And probably I have been making myself read bad reviews of books that I've loved because all of this trolling stuff has been about like 1 second jokes, right? Like I'm like, whatever, you don't understand the nuance of it. And if someone reads the book and this will happen and hates it, I'll be like, oh, okay, no, that's everything I had. If you hate that.
Yeah. That's good training.
Yes.
I wish
So
I had done that.
I'm trying to train my brain
Okay.
for like books that I've absolutely adored and like what people have said about it to understand that it is a very subjective experience. I'm dealing with a lot of like mental health. It's about the whole like working with refugees and then having a cancelled wedding and like moving through different countries, coming to Melbourne, doing counselling. There's a lot of stuff about mental health in there, trying to figure out new careers and life and love, and people are going to hate it. But if it helps just one person not do the fetal position thing at 2 a.m.,
That's my whole career now.
great.
Yeah.
Done.
Same.
Happy. But also just the experience of writing it has been a freaking thrill. I've loved it.
Right. But
I've loved writing
it's hard.
it. but it's hard.
You got to relive the trauma when you're writing about it.
I also like hesitated to send it to my editor for so long. And I also was just kind of like, I attached it and I was like, here's the final draft. You can change anything you
Wait,
want.
you wrote the whole thing?
Yeah. I hit my word count.
You wrote the whole thing?
Yeah. December.
See, I'm
I hit my
so
word
bad.
count.
I have to do a chapter at a time.
Yeah. Make a schedule.
And my editor has to pat my head, well done, after I finish a chapter.
Yeah. I was scared that if I did the chapter by chapter, I just found it so debilitating. Like I was just like, please love it. If you hate it, that's fine. I'll go die. Like I can't. So I just had to do the whole thing in one hit.
I hear.
Yeah.
I think I wrote my first book in one hit, the first.
Yeah, see, that's.
But this is the second one. And it's the last 5 years, which I've since discovered I've blocked a lot out for psychological preservation.
Yes, you do.
So because with all the lockdowns and all the things that happened to me, I'm going back to try and tell a story and I'm like,
Yeah. Did you overshare on your socials?
Okay,
That's what helped me.
yes, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
So
I went
I've had
back
to go back
through
and read all my insane Facebook posts during COVID.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
not a well woman.
Yeah. Bonkers stuff.
Bonkers.
I went back 10 years and I was
Thank
like,
God.
Yeah.
Good saying. Yes,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
good tip for anybody. Go back through your socials if you're trying to remember something.
yeah, it really helps if you overshared. And at the time, I remember people being like, you don't have to put all of that out there. And I was like, shut up. And now I'm really glad I do. Yeah.
It's a compulsion I have. And also, people knew I don't. I've actually curated that stuff.
Yeah.
Because if they got the full amount, that would be...
This was the stuff I filtered. You're welcome.
When people say, M's a lot, I'm like, babe, that's me at 10% because I'm aware. Like when people say that, she's really over the top, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, if Charlie had a notebook, I would be in trouble.
Shit. Is that your husband?
Yeah, I would be in so much trouble.
How is he navigating your meteoric rise?
He has been so lovely. Like we had a discussion like right at the beginning where it was like, hey, do you want to be part of this or do you not want to be part of this?
We'll just get divorced. See you later, motherfucker. I want to be famous.
Just in terms
I feel
of,
like that was your conversation.
Yeah, bye. No, because for example, like Anissa's partner does not want to be in anything. So she can't talk about it. She doesn't feature him in videos and stuff, which is a very choice.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a very
it cuts off a lot of content.
concrete choice.
It's really hard to write if you can't write about your relationship.
Yeah, but Charlie and I started dating just as I was doing the stand-up thing.
So he knew.
So I was like, this is my thing. If you're not on it, like if you're not on with it. And he comes from a very private family and I think it's been challenging for them, but they have come to every single comedy show. Every single one of my in-laws has come to every single comedy show and it's just felt so lovely because it feels like something that we're now doing together.
Mm-hmm.
And he started his own like marketing thing at the end of 2023 when it became clear that I would be touring a lot so that he can come and like work for himself. And now we kind of do it together, which is awesome. I just think I'd still do it, but I would feel so bad about how much I was away and stuff, and that we can do it together has kind of changed everything.
Oh, you're going to take over the world. No, you actually are.
Yeah.
I mean, America calls. You know this.
America, the States is calling, which is really, really cool. It's really hard to get a work visa there though, so you need to know that, it's
At the
happening.
Moment, Trump's America.
Yeah, I also, don't want to be randomly picked up by ICE because I've said something, which, I will say something.
Oh, I'm going to the States in a couple of weeks. I know we have to go through all my stuff and take out all the Trump stuff.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Do you actually? Like,
yes.
You actually can't?
No. I've been told to take a separate phone.
My jaw just dropped so low that it
okay?
kind of, did my jaw. Yeah, anyway.
It happens to me a lot because you're a clencher. Me too. They've been advised to take a wiped Apple, like a wiped phone.
Wow.
And just have a different SIM.
Wild.
Truly.
Yeah.
We're going back through podcast episodes to pull. Yeah, people are being stopped.
Man.
They're just randomly, like, especially if they see I'm like whatever. I don't even know what to put on what my job is. Because entertainer makes me sound like I work on cruise ships for old people.
Yes.
Like I'm producer, like I'm all the things. So I don't know what to write. But if I wrote anything in media, I know they're going to plug my phone in.
Yeah. Take everything.
Which they can.
It's scary. Like ICE is arresting white people now.
Absolutely.
Which is like.
At prestigious universities where they are students.
Yeah.
On student visas.
On proper visas, PhDs, Fulbright scholars.
Have had children in the country. I know, it's terrifying.
It's like, that's how you know that. When I saw that, there was a lady who wrote She was a Canadian lady, and she'd written an article in The Guardian about getting taken into immigration. And I was like, oh, wow. If they're doing that to white people, things are bad. Yeah.
I mean, you read these articles with insane knowledge.
Yeah.
You understand.
Things are
Actually,
real bad.
Can I call you if something happens to me when I go to the States?
You may.
You're as close to an immigration law. I mean, I know you're non-practicing.
I can do very little, but you may. I'll be like, oh, babe, that sounds hard. That's why I got out of it.
Do you want me to pop something up on TikTok and make it viral? Oh, tag elbow.
No, but this is the scary thing. There's actually very, very little you can do in that situation. Like, you need to know the right person to call. You need to have money. You need to, so have a contact that you can actually.
Jesus Christ, really?
It's quite scary. Yeah.
Surely you have hookups for other good immigration lawyers.
In Australia, yes.
Okay,
definitely.
great, terrific.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
and
definitely.
a few around the place, but yeah, like once you're in, you're kind of in. Like that's why like it got really, really depressing when I moved back to Australia and I was practicing in Melbourne for a while, where like you had a client go into detention and you used to have a kind of a decent relationship with detention centers where you'd kind of get a heads up, but they kind of then would take them into detention centers and you'd have to ring the different detention centers to see which one they were in around the country. And then if they were in a good mood, they tell you. And if they were in a bad mood, they may or may not be there. So it was just like, it was hard enough to keep them in the country first. You had to find them. It was just, I was like, I've worked in this area for 10 years. I need a change. And I felt like such a quitter. I felt like so much guilt because I was like, my life is not bad compared to the stuff that my clients are going through.
Relative, isn't it?
It's all relative.
Yes.
And I felt like
and
a
you
huge
did that
quitter.
with ADHD for a decade. Yeah. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
I can't get to an interview on time.
Thank you.
So like the fact that you did all that admin.
It's honestly like it's lists, it's alarms.
You must have been mentally exhausted
I
all
was-
of the
I was
time.
fried. I was totally and completely fried. And I didn't realize, I didn't know why I was fried. I just knew that I was letting my friends down all the time. I knew that I wasn't maintaining proper relationships and I just didn't understand. And I thought that it was just because I was angry all the time because my parents had this, I go into this in the book, but my parents had this relationship where he would lose his temper all the time and that came from his side of the family. He has 3 sisters. None of them had a relationship work out, So I was just like, okay, so this is the curse called it the curse of the Perera gene. And I had the Perera gene and I was just not going to be able to make things work in my life. And that was just
So he was
the
ADHD.
way that it was going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my dad.
But there was no word for it, It was
Nah.
just kind of like dad loses his temper a lot when he's stressed.
Yeah, he's in total overload meltdown mode.
Always.
Yeah. Oh, my dad's realised that in his 70s.
Yeah.
Which is great. Coming around the country with me because he plays in my band and watching me talk about neurodivergence.
Yeah.
We were driving in between shows and he said to me, I think I'm ADHD. I said, yeah, and autistic.
Yeah.
I've seen your alphabetized garage.
Yes,
I've seen the way you have to wear noise cancelling headphones
I've
everywhere.
seen all of your notebooks,
All your
how
notebooks.
stressed you get when you have to get a passport out at the airport because you're just overstimulated all the time.
Yeah. So it's, but when I was first diagnosed, and I've said this before, he's like, you're not autistic, you're Italian. Yes. Both.
You can be both. I know this is wild.
Yeah.
But it's not one or the other.
Yeah. It's like growing up a type A eldest daughter, autistic ADHD, lack of an Italian immigrant has been a wild time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm medicated.
Yeah.
Thank God.
So nice.
Oh, so good.
So nice.
Babe.
Mine, what really helped me was because I couldn't go on what was the drug? Like Vyvanse?
Vyvanse, yes, what I'm on,
I
yeah.
couldn't go on Vyvanse. So they were like, try Ritalin. And
that's even worse.
Ritalin made me
Makes you anxious.
so anxious.
Ritalin's bad for us.
So
it's not good for
anxious.
ADHD.
And they were like,
It's
well,
not.
if you have ADHD, this should sort it
No.
out. And I was like, I feel like I'm skydiving while I'm lying down.
Like you've got ghosts in your blood.
Yeah. I've never been skydiving, but now I don't have to because it felt like I was
Internal skydiving.
free falling
Correct.
through the sky. And I had Charlie actually come with me to the appointment with the psych because I was like, I have never felt this anxious. And I have anxiety all the time. I've never
And they
felt
put you
this
on
anxious.
Ritalin knowing you have anxiety?
Yeah.
Okay, that's...
She was like, this will help.
No.
And
Vyvanse is for you one
he
day.
was like, I've never seen her like this. And so she was like, that's impossible. She's on such a low dose. I have clients on 10 times that. And I was like, get them off.
That's what they give kids first too, by the way.
Don't do
You
that.
take a 5-year-old in, they're handing them what they handed you.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So I think there's lots of different drugs and you
There
need to
is.
try it. But what really helped me was I went on antidepressants,
Yeah.
which has a lot of anti-anxiety, and even that was so stigmatized, right? And even after being in the comedy community for years, where everyone speaks so openly about everything that they're on and how good it's been for them, I was always like, that is so lovely and empowering for you. I don't need that.
It's a weakness.
Yeah, I was still like, I don't need that.
see you.
So, but it helped so much, like talking to friends in the comedy community that had spoken about it. So I would call them and they'd be like, hey, this is what worked for me, this is what didn't work for me. And then finally went on antidepressants and it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's good. I mean, as long as you find something.
Yeah.
It's different rules for everybody.
Just the anxiety.
Yeah.
I just woke up and there were no noises in my head and it was just very, very lovely. And I started coming off them towards the end of last year for the first time, just to see, is this something that my brain doesn't produce when I'm stressed, or is this something that I need always? What is it? And it's just been a lot of diet, a lot of health, a lot of exercise, which is exhausting.
Yeah.
But I am learning that I can manage so far.
It's
So
a
we'll see.
full-time job looking after yourself as you get older as a woman.
I don't like it.
You're hitting the age where your estrogen's leaving your body. You know
I
that.
really liked it when I could just yell instead and ruin
I
all
still
my
do that.
relationships.
I still do that.
Burn all my bridges, start again.
I just want to warn you about your mid-40s. I really want to warn you about your mid-40s.
Yeah,
Because around 42, 43, you're like, yeah,
I got this.
yeah, man. My life, I am on top. I know what's going on. I know who
Yeah.
I am.
It's taken so long, but here I am.
And then
At the end.
the raising to the ground of your entire self happens.
Of everything.
Because your estrogen bails and your estrogen regulates your mood and your anxiety levels and your heart and your lungs and your skin and everything. And it's not something we're told when we're young girls. So every woman that comes across my path now, I sit down like a witch in the forest and I say, listen to me. Listen. You must be aware of the great estrogen exodus.
invest in sage, but it won't be enough.
Nah, it's not. None of that shit. But you do, like, I'm just, especially as someone, you're highly intelligent, you're neurodivergent, like it all tracks for you too. I'm just telling you.
It's coming.
Yeah.
But it's just been nice, like learning about my body in a different way.
Yeah.
And like we've had all this fertility stuff.
Yeah,
and
you
like,
went through hell with the
track
IVF.
it.
I was following you along that. You were so fucking
not
generous
like-
with that story.
Did not like.
It was a lot.
And that was on the back of like 3 miscarriages. You
Yeah.
know? Like, and they don't know what's wrong with you. And, you know, everyone's like, there's nothing wrong with you. And I'm like, no, there is. And that's okay. And I don't know what it is. You know, like sometimes you can't support a pregnancy. You just can't. Like, I think we're starting from a place where it's just like, no, all women can, don't worry. And it's just like, no, all women can't sometimes. And they need to figure out why. And I'm trying to figure out why and if there is a solution. And if there isn't, that's fine. But it's really confronting to people when you say that. They really freak out. And I'm
It's
like,
fucking brutal.
I don't know what to tell you.
You were really, I mean, that was a lot. You
Yeah.
gave a lot.
Yeah.
I was watching you.
Thanks. Yeah.
I was watching you just, yeah.
But you know what? I think it's not the same for everyone. Disclaimer. But I needed to talk about it because if I was dealing with it alone, I just felt so much shame.
Yeah.
And there's so much silence and so much stigma. And I was just like, I actually can't sit with this
No,
alone.
you got to shine the light
I
in there.
can't do it.
Yeah.
And so having spaces to talk about it
Yeah.
has actually just been incredible.
Yeah. No, I did a whole
Yeah.
stand-up show about my miscarriage and wrote a giant dick in it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I put a
I wish I'd seen
I put a
that.
self-inflating 8-meter penis inside my show about losing my
Phenomenal.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, they must have loved you at the tech run. That
They,
would've been awesome.
Opera House still talks about it. I did it at the Opera House on the fucking main stage. But I just remember every time, because I was writing about this miscarriage and I really deeply regretted doing the stand-up show about it because,
Yes.
you know, I was reliving it every time around the country, you know, 35 times.
Yeah.
But every time I felt sad about, you know, some aspect of what happened, I would get an email from my set designer asking me, do you want the penis circumcised or uncircumcised? Is there going to be pubic hair? What color are we talking? What ethnicity is the penis?
Real modes of distraction.
Yeah. How bally are we? Do we want big balls? Are we
Yeah.
going to be using the balls for structural support? And those emails gave me life.
Yeah.
And that everyone was like, why are you writing a giant dick?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is
Why not? How dare
It was
you?
my miscarriage parallel. You know, because I felt like I was broken as a woman.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. No one
Yeah.
was talking about, you know, what the aspects of how men contribute to these kind of things. So I just wrote a giant dick.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And that's what kept me going.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it was
This
wild.
This is the first comedy festival in 3 years where I've not been going through a miscarriage or going through fertility treatments with IVF. And like,
Girl,
I'm just like,
she's a new woman.
oh,
Wait, I don't have to have massive trauma?
I forgot that this is what it can feel like.
I'm happy
so
for you.
I'm just
That's so
chuffed.
great.
And I think if I hadn't been so open about it and having so many conversations with people who decided to stop or people who just couldn't keep going, like whatever it was, I'm just so grateful to all those people for the conversations that I've had, because it was a very concrete decision by April last year where I was like, I can't do IVF anymore.
And
That's enough
reframing
now.
it. It's not a failure.
That's enough. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that we're made to feel like if we don't fulfill our prophecy of housing children, we've somehow failed.
Yes.
As a woman.
Yeah, as a
It's
woman.
like-
and like with IVF, they're like, just keep going.
No.
Just keep going because you'll get there. And I'm like, at
what cost?
Like not just financially,
And you're
but
not
like
just a vessel,
physically,
babe.
emotionally.
Yeah, no, the whole thing. You start to feel like, oh, I'm just a vessel. I'm just like, my brain doesn't matter. We've just got to get the thing in the thing.
Get it. Get it.
Yeah. And it's like by the time, if it does end up happening, what kind of shape are you in to raise a human?
Yeah, exactly. Because it only gets harder from there, you know, like, and I've been very like aware of that. Like all my friends who have kids, like it's not like they've passed through to some Eden. Like it's difficult. It looks wonderful, but difficult in its own way. So I've just been like, if this is this hard, and then it's like another 18 years of like harder and harder and harder, far out, man.
But also,
I gotta
if you
stop
had have had a
here.
baby, your career wouldn't be, you know what I mean? Like it's a weird parallel sliding doors moment for you.
It really is. And it's also like, I feel like, you know, when one is down, the other is up. Like
100%.
everyone out there has something that someone else doesn't have,
Yeah.
you know? So it's just kind of reframing what success and failure is, and kind of just looking at people who are 10 years ahead and are either childless or child-free, and speaking to them about like, oh, hey, are you miserably sad going around and thinking about the giant
Aren't they the most happy
kid-shaped-
demographic?
They're really happy.
Childless women?
They seem
I believe it.
real happy. And
My
I
middle child
believe
sits
it.
5 feet from us.
Yeah.
I believe you.
No, but I think we need to start believing people,
Yes.
you know, but people who don't have kids watch people with kids and they're like, they seem really unhappy. And
Correct.
people with kids watch people without kids and be like, they seem really unhappy. It's like, why don't we all just trust
Oh, I don't think that.
that things have worked out?
I watch you
As they
naked
have.
people like, oh. I love my kids. I am so grateful for them, but I
Yeah.
get it.
You get it.
get it.
You get it.
We get
Like,
each other.
Let's get
We
it.
get it.
Yeah.
On that note of getting, at Sashi Bomb on Instagram. That's antagonistic. I enjoy it.
Sash Bomb. Oh, it was actually.
Oh, Sash Bomb.
Yeah,
Not Sashi
no,
Bomb.
but I've been told to change it because for marketing reasons. But I got it in 2015, and it was something that it was a nickname by an old housemate. And I just like put that on, and then before I even started comedy, and they're like, "Oh, it's so smart because you're the bomb, but also you can bomb in comedy." And I'm just like, "Nah, man, it was just some nickname my housemate
Yes, it
gave
has
me,
levels.
and now I will not change it."
I just love the
refuse.
firewalls going, nope, the word bomb's in it. We're not letting her through. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the firewalls.
I'm thinking about ICE in the States just being like, she has bomb in her name. Of course we can't let her
Oh
through.
my God.
Are you joking?
I didn't even think about that.
She's
Yeah,
brown.
you're on the border. What's your Instagram handle?
Sash bomb. But
fucking
not
what?
for reasons you think. Please let me in.
I'm the bomb.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm the bomb as I strapped you off.
Not the way you think. Yeah.
And you can find your website. You want to give all your guff.
Hello, I am Sash Bomb on Instagram, but in a good way, not in a bad way. Please, US authorities, let me in later. But here's another thing you need to wipe from your podcast.
Oh, shit.
SashiPerera.com for my website. And please look out for my book, which is coming out in August and is called Standstill.
I can't. That was excellent.
Thank
the
you.
double thumbs up, especially.
I'm a lot with the
Double fingers.
I'm a lot
Yes.
with this.
You must come back when
Yeah.
the book's out.
Yeah, yay!
And then I know there will be a huge tour off the back of it
It
where
will.
you will get to mine your trauma each
Yay,
night.
yay, but for
Yay.
fun.
For money.
For
Someone said to me at a show the other day, it was the Q&A, and they're like, oh, you know, how do you kind of get through telling your stories, your trauma as a comedian, you know? And I said, the money. If I've got to like be haunted by it, I may as well make money from it.
It's true. But also you're helping everyone else who's haunted
Yeah,
by it
too.
and can't turn it into jokes.
That's what I said
reckon.
too. That was the second thing. The money was first. All right, Sashi, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You've been
This
a
is
joy.
so much
Sorry, I was
fun.
late.
It's okay.
It's Emsolation Extra.
Hey Emsolators, every Tuesday on our premium service Emsolation Extra, Em answers your questions in our Ask Em Anything episodes. Here's a sample of what you're missing out on.
Oh my goodness. Emsolation Extra subscribers, pals, I just recorded 20 minutes for you all on my walk with the dogs, only I didn't press record. Oh no, I got such good ambience. There were two kids having a sword fight. Lola barked. Like, I really brought you into the country atmosphere. It's me, it's Em. I'm having the week off. Oh, I have to start all over again. I want to cry. I'm having the week off because I'm writing, I'm resting, and I thought for your Tuesday edition of Extra, I would send you a voice note, like what I send Michael at 3 a.m. every second day. This is what it is to be my friend. Now, I want you to bear in mind that this isn't going to be the normal standard of recording because I'm literally walking the dogs on Monday night down to the river, and it's just going to sound like you're getting a voice note from your friend Em, which you are. But I just wanted to have a chat about what's been happening. I won't be answering questions. I'll just be talking to you in a one-way conversation. But look, that's our relationship. Sometimes you guys talk back and I love it. So let me recap you. Since we last spoke, Oh, there's a car coming. Wait, let me get the dogs off the road. Oh, you even missed the part where Lola did a poo and I was dry reaching, but I kept talking. Maybe it's for the best. That first one didn't record. I'm going to keep checking it's recording. Yes, hello. Well, that guy was totally picking his nose. So I had my wisdom teeth out plus a molar last week. So 3 teeth in total. And I did go into the general anaesthetic, and it was okay, all things considered. If you are somebody putting off wisdom teeth removal, like I was, don't. And also, if you can, get it done under general anaesthetic. That made all the difference. I can't even tell you, because I can't remember it. I can't even tell you. I was totally unconscious. The other great thing about it was when I arrived at the hospital, it became quickly apparent that there are a lot of emsolators working there. I attract nurses. That's right. This community, full of them. I'm sure most of you are nurses. If not, you're considering it, or you were. And I've thought about why. Why do I? Lola, how much poo do you have in you? Like, honestly. I refuse to... Oh, she's weeing. Okay, you're allowed to wee, that's fine. But I don't want to pick up another poo. That was disgusting. Nurses. I think that I attract nurses because we're cut from the same cloth. Do you know what I mean? We're fixers. We don't take any bullshit. We're also able to save people's lives when our own lives are on fire. You know, those kind of attributes. I think like attracts like. I'm so proud to have a high percentage nurse community in my listenership, in my life. Anyway, as soon as I got there, I came across an emsolator. And then when I went inside to put my gown on and take all my obs, another emsolator, one woman whispered John Peter Farnham as I went in. She was the anaesthetist assistant. When I came to another emsolator, it was really reassuring because I didn't have to do any context. I didn't have to do any radio resets. They all knew the story. They all knew how I'd been putting it off. They all knew my dental issues and how I was really not looking forward to having to go through that. And it was fantastic. Now, the other issue was the pain relief.
To hear the rest and get access to all the others, including full video episodes and our main weekly and sealed section episodes, and a stack of other perks, just head to emsolation.supercast.com now. Emsolation with Em Rossiano is recorded at Down the Hill Studios. Hosted by Em Rossiano with Michael Lucas. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley. Produced by Em Rossiano. Edited by Ezekiel Fenn with videos by James Henderson. Socials by Benjamin Wasley, Em Rossiano and Marcella Rossiano Barrow with assistance from Jem Evans and Isabella Hines. You'll find links to get more Emsolation on Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. And thanks for listening. We can't wait to chat with you again soon.